Hey peeps, Claudia King here, founder of Automio, creator of Scale Up and award-winning legal innovator. And in this video, I'm going to teach you the 5 steps to creating copy that converts. So this is all about writing the words for your law firm's website that will convert your visitors into leads and leads into clients. So let's get into it. So peeps, I've got to be really honest, nearly every law firm website I've ever seen has been really shit. And not because of the design, although the design can be shit too, but because of the copy, because of the words that are on the website. This is what I think has happened. One time, many years ago, a law firm created a website and it was really shit. And then every other law firm came along and was all like, oh, that's what a law firm website is supposed to be like. I'm going to copy that. And they all copied it and they pretty much copied all the wording. And now, like nearly every law firm in the world has a terrible website because they're all the same. And I think it's worse because I know a lot of lawyers want to improve the situation and they'll go to a copywriter. And the copywriter will look at all the other shit law firm websites and see that there's a pattern and think that they have to write copy that's like that shit copy as well. So that's one thing that can happen that leads to this problem. The other thing that happens that leads to this problem of bad copy on law firms' websites is that when a lawyer outsources the copywriting to a copywriter, the copywriter will do this great job of creating this great copy that really sells, that really speaks to the client, and then they will give that copy back to the lawyer to review, and the lawyer will get out their red pen and go through it and change it all because it doesn't sound lawyery enough, or it sounds too salesy. Which is interesting because that is the purpose of copy. They are words that sell. So I've created a 5-step framework to help you create copy for your law firm's website that actually converts. So step 1, copywriting is not about writing. It's kind of unfortunate that the word writing is in the word copywriting because people think that copywriting is just writing, but it's not. It's creating words that sell. And because lawyers, a big part of their job is to write, writing submissions, writing legal opinions, lawyers write a great letter. That is very different writing to copywriting. And just as we would not think that a copywriter could do legal writing, lawyers cannot do copywriting unless they've been trained. So if you are a lawyer who's written copy for a website and you know that it's bad, don't feel bad because you have never been taught or you've never gone out and learned how to be a copywriter, just like a copywriter has never been to law school and learned how to write for legal purposes. So writing for the purposes of selling is a very different skill and one that you probably do not have unless you've done some training in it. But the first important step is recognizing that you, as a very talented and successful lawyer who's very good at writing a legal opinion, knowing and understanding that that does not make you a good copywriter. So writing your own copy is probably not the best idea unless you go about learning how to write good copy, which is totally doable. There will just be a bit of education involved. So that's number 1, understanding that copywriting is not about writing, it is about creating words that sell. Number 2 is you need to stop talking about you. So you can do this right now. Go and do a quick law firm website audit, and ask yourself this question. Are you talking about yourself and your firm more than you're talking about your ideal client? And I can guarantee you the answer will be yes. Your law firm website probably talks about how long you've been practicing law for, where you practice law, where you went to university, how much PQE you've got, the types of cases that you've worked on, the types of cases that you've done, all the things. You'll be talking about all those things. And I totally get it. That's what everybody else does. So you probably thought that that's what you needed to do as well. But understanding that it's not about you is really important. And the reason for that is clients, they don't care about you. Usually when they're coming to your website for the very first time, they're only just becoming aware that they have a problem. And so they're not worried about how many PQE you've got. They're worried about how well you know them and how well you could solve their problem. And doing that is not about talking about yourself in the first instance, which leads me on to number 3. The client is the product. So at the moment, you have probably laid out the copy on your website to try and sell a legal service. But what you need to understand is that you're not selling a legal service. You're actually trying to sell a client. You're trying to sell the client to themselves. You're trying to hold up a mirror that they can look in and see themselves. Okay? They can see the problem. You're agitating the problem. They're reading about themselves and they're saying, yes, that is how I feel. Yes, that is my problem. So being able to think about the client as the product that you're selling rather than the legal service will really help you get into the mindset that you need to get into to create great copy for your website. Number 4 is use their words. So if you on your website talk about certain statutes or regulations or case law, then that is an example of you not using their words. So the easiest way to sell to somebody is to use their words. And that might sound lazy, but it's very, very effective, okay? So using their words is as easy as listening to the way that they explain something and taking those words and building those words into your copy. So an example might be, say your client gets fired, okay, and they've lost their job. And if you think about how they would talk about that, so they wouldn't go home to their partner and say, oh, I've been unjustifiably dismissed by my employer. They wouldn't say that. They would never say that. They would say something like, oh, my boss fired me. What an asshole. So, learning how they talk and how they explain things is the key way to create great copy that sells. Quick story for you. Back in the 90s, my dad used to be a lawyer, and he had a law firm in New Plymouth in New Zealand here, and they had an employment law team, and they used to run an ad in the local paper, I think like every Wednesday and every Saturday, and it said, "Got the boot lately?" ? And then it had a big picture of a boot, and it was an ad to appeal to people who had been fired recently by their employers. And that ad, just because of the language, they got so many clients through it. And it was purely because the copy was so strong. Plus there was a picture of a boot, which was funny. So there you go. Have you got the boot lately? But such a great example of using their words. Think about how your client says things. How is she talking about things? Use her words in your copy. And then number 5 is understand different stages of awareness. So when it comes to a client's buying journey, there's many different stages of awareness, and I don't really want to get into that today, but there are 2 stages that I do want to draw your attention to. So the first is when they become aware of their problem. So if somebody's coming to your website and they've become aware of their problem, then you need to really focus on talking about that problem and agitating that problem and talking to them in a way that makes them think, gosh, these people really get it. They really understand me. And then they will move through a different stage of the buying journey and they become more solution focused. Okay, so before they were problem focused, they knew they had a problem, but they weren't ready to think about sorting it out yet. Now they know they've got a problem and they're ready to think about sorting it out. So the way that you speak to that type of client is very different, because you need to start talking about what the solution could be. what is available, offering them at that point to come and book a call with you. So you can see that you need different copy for different people at different parts of the buying journey, and you don't know exactly when they come to the website like what part of that buying journey they're in. So you need to write the copy and lay it out in a way that makes sense for somebody who is coming to your website. And really the best way to do that, to figure that out, because that's quite a skill, is to use a copywriter. But remember, when you do use the copywriter, don't let them go and copy everybody else's website, and don't chop and change everything that they've written. Don't get out your red pen. Trust them. They're a professional, and you don't need to use a copywriter who is experienced in writing for law firms. In fact, it's probably better that you don't, because otherwise they're probably becoming indoctrinated in the shit law firm copy that's out there because they've seen it so many times. Get somebody who doesn't write for law firms. Get somebody who writes copy that sells really well for other industries, and get them to write the copy for you. So let me just recap the 5 ways to create copy that sells. Number 1, copywriting is not about writing. It's about words that sell. Number 2 is stop talking about you. Number 3 is the client is the product. Number 4 is use their words. And number 5 is different stages of awareness. Thank you so much for listening to this video. As always, I want to challenge you to build your dream law firm so that you can have more impact, freedom, and money in your lawyer life. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
If there's anything these past months have shown us, it's that the time to make lasting, impactful change in the legal industry is right now. So I want to challenge you to shake things up and create change today. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this video with your lawyer friends. See you next week.